Let's talk a little bit more about cells.
That is the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is made up of spaces. There are spaces that go up and down, columns, and it's the space between the lines that are the columns. That's where the data goes. These spaces all have names, and those names are letters. Every letter different, or every column with a different letter, starting from the letter A. Then we have spaces that go left to right. These are rows. That space in between the lines that go left to right are called rows, and all rows also have a name, and that name is a number, starting from the number 1. Now, when we put our columns and our rows together, we have a grid, and this grid is made up of all these little boxes, and each little box is called a cell. Now, because all of the columns have names, letters, and all of the rows have names, numbers, all of the cells will also have names, and those names are called addresses. And the address is made up of the column letter and the row number. And all cells are unique. There will not be any two cells with the same address.
I'm going to move in a spot somewhere in the middle of this spreadsheet. What's the address? H26. Sometimes it's hard to tell what the address is, so all you got to do is look in this corner. The name box, wherever you have clicked, whatever cell you're in, it's going to show you that address. That one's G12. I'm going to scroll back to the top of our spreadsheet. You can see what's inside the cell by looking in here in this section. This is the formula bar. So if I click on this cell B4, there's nothing in it, and I don't see anything in this address bar. But if I click on the cell B1, it shows me 4,516. That's what I typed in. And when I click on a cell, it shows me what's inside the cell. This is important. I know you're looking at the cell and saying, why do I need to see what's inside of it? I'm going to show you in a second. You might already be ahead of me. I click the cell that says income. I see what I typed in here, income. In fact, I can even click in this formula bar and add to it. Income for, me. You see, as I add letters in the formula bar, they also are added in the cell. If I hit enter, you have to enter to finish entering your information in the cell, to finish the cell and close it. Now this cell says something different, but I don't like that, so I'm going to click in the formula bar and delete me, hit enter. Oops, I forgot to delete the 4. I'm going to click back. Another way that I can get rid of information in the cell is if I double click on the cell. Now you see the blinking line, the blinking insertion point inside the cell. That means I am ready to type in this cell, in this space right now. I'm going to delete it from inside the cell. So to edit a cell, to change what's in it, you can click in the formula bar, or if you double click on the cell. But let's go over to this cell, B5. It is showing me in the spreadsheet 806. That's the expenses subtracted from the income. But if I look in here in this formula bar, it's not showing me 806. It is showing me these cell addresses, because the formula that we're using here it looks like it's subtracting cells, but it's not. It looks like it's B1 minus B3, but in real life, if you wrote that on a piece of paper, somebody wouldn't know what to do with that. What's B1 equal? What does B3 equal? Well, because we're in the spreadsheet, you know what B1 equals. It equals whatever number is in the cell B1. and B3 equals whatever is in the cell B3. So this formula is whatever is in B1, subtract whatever is in B3. So we're in edit mode. We're inside the cell, looking inside this cell right now. We're looking inside the formula bar. But once I hit enter, or in this case, I'm just going to click another cell. And it closes that cell. So we're not looking inside of it anymore. And it just shows me on the spreadsheet, it just shows me the result of the formula. When I click on a cell, it will show me whatever is inside that cell in the formula bar here, but the result shows up here in the spreadsheet.